Hey everyone, the last time you saw me reading from this book was from my intro to The Evil Dead. I was practicing reciting some lines from it. I was about to go on a camping trip. Well, I went on that camping trip. Me and my friends recited lines from the book, and well, things went dark real fast. On the good news front, I made it out of there with my life, and I happened to make it back to my home, but unfortunately the dead's outside in my front lawn trying to get in my house. This old man gave me 3 words to say to stop the evil, but unfortunately I sort of messed them up. So now I gotta go deal with them, and while I do that, let's get into my Army of Darkness review. Let's do it. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna talk about Army of Darkness. Yes, I'm gonna cap off my Evil Dead reviews, the original trilogy reviews right now. Army of Darkness came out February 19th, 1993. It actually got delayed a year because the studio recut it on Sam Raimi and the boys. We'll get into that in a little bit. It's rated R, although Universal did want a PG-13 rating, but it went out rated R. It's an hour and 21 minutes long. There's a different ending out there. If you have the right Blu-ray, you could see that different ending where Ash drinks a potion and wakes up in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And then we have the ending we got for this film, which we'll get into as we go through it. They had a budget of $11 million, and upon release in the US it made a little over 11, and worldwide it made about 21. So it wasn't the biggest of hits, although it did get delayed, like I said. The movie was co-written by Sam Raimi with his brother Ivan, and Sam Raimi obviously directed. He directed all 3 of the original films for this series. Bruce Campbell was back as Ash, and this is where, like I said in my Evil Dead 2 review, Ash became the Ash we all know and love. The likable asshole, smartass, kind of not the brightest, but just bright enough to become a hero, a cheeseball hero, and that's pretty much Ash, and we love him for it. And in the beginning of this film, we kind of recap what happened at the end of Evil Dead 2, although this time, Bridget Fonda's playing Ash's girlfriend in this part of it, and we see him getting sucked into the portal, along with the Buick 88, and he ends up in medieval times, and that's where we begin our film. And we see the title sequence. This is Bruce Campbell versus the Army of Darkness. Obviously, it's just called Army of Darkness, but, you know, the studio did a little monkeying around with this film. And basically, Ash gets taken prisoner by these people that live in a castle, by this king, or I don't know if he's even a king. I can't remember, because his character is just there, really. Ash is our main character, let's be honest here. That's the one we care about the most. And Ash gets thrown into a pit. The kind of sorcerer that's at this castle throws him his chainsaw. He kills the demon that's down there and gets out, and he's considered a hero. And he goes to his speech about "This is my boomstick." There's tons of one-liners that came out of this film, obviously, and this is where Bruce Campbell really became Ash. Like I said, in Evil Dead 2, he became Ash, but this even pushes the character forward even further than he was in Evil Dead 2. And basically, he's told if he wants to go back to his time, he needs to get the Book of the Dead, and they can perform a ritual, and they can stop the evil in their time because they know the evil's coming for them, and they can send him back to his time. So he goes on a quest, ends up in this cemetery, and there's 3 books there, and when he gets to finally finds the right book, there's some hilarity that ensues. He has to say those 3 words that I was talking about in my intro. He messes them up, as Ash tends to do, and he takes off back for the castle. Now, I did skip over the windmill scene where he multiplies in these little ashes, and then evil Ash is born. But I'm not going to go through the whole film. If you're a horror fan, you've seen this film. We all love it. We know it. We know the one-liners. It's become iconic at this point, this film, along with the rest of the series. He goes back to the castle. He just gives a shit about himself. He doesn't care about anybody else. He meets this girl in medieval times. She gets taken by the demons and turned into a deadite. And then we get the Army of the Dead with Danny Elfman's score, who marches towards the castle. Ash trains everybody in the castle how to fight, using technology he knows about from present day, or 1992 when they filmed this, 91, 92. And then they defeat the evil. Ash gets sent back to present time, and we get his speech in S-Smart, and he has to fight one more demon, and that's the end of the film. He kills that demon in the store, and we have a happy ending for Ash. Until Ash vs. Evil Dead, the TV series, came along, which I love that series, all 3 seasons of it. Basically, Sam Raimi got to make this film because he made Darkman for Universal, which was a hit. And so they gave him, he teamed up with Dino De Laurentiis again. Dino De Laurentiis had a 3-picture deal with Universal, and he made this one of those pictures with Universal. So they were able to get more money to make this film. Now, obviously, the money wasn't enough because there's a lot of effects in this film, a lot of rear projection screen, a lot of animation, old school animation, a lot of practical effects, which K&B worked on this film, doing some of the work on this film as well. So there was a lot of work to be done for $11 million, and they pulled it off pretty damn well. I know today you can look at it, you can see some things that don't look right, but honestly, at the time, this was a pretty high-tech film, and they pulled off a lot of stuff for that budget. Even in '91, $11 million to pull off what they were trying to pull off wasn't a whole lot of money. Now, like I said, originally Universal wanted this to be a PG-13 movie, which seems insane to me. It's like, did you see the first two films, Universal, before you agreed to make this film? So now Sam Raimi did make some cuts, but it still got a rated R. And then the film was locked. Universal took the film away from Sam Raimi, brought editors in and re-edited the film down to the 81 minutes that it is on most versions of it. Although, like I said, there is other footage from the film. There's a different ending, which Universal didn't like. That's why they went back and reshot the ending we see now. Mostly the most common ending is the department store ending, S-Mart ending. But this movie is a damn good time. This is where it went from horror comedy into like sword and sorcery, a little bit of horror elements, but a lot of screwball comedy. And Bruce Campbell sells it. He's fantastic. A very physical performance again by Bruce Campbell. And he's phenomenal in the role. All the other actors around him are great too. I don't mention him because Bruce Campbell's the most important actor here. We come for Ash, this character. That's who we care about. It's who we want to see. We want to see him get into shit and then get himself out of it by dumb luck most of the time. Make himself look brilliant even though he's really not that brilliant, but we still love him. So I love this character. It's why it's endured all these years. It's a fun movie. Sam Raimi keeps the pace moving. You got those zany camera work by Sam Raimi. I know they did a lot of difficult stuff with the camera that drove Bruce Campbell nuts because he had to do like 37 takes to get the shot right in some scenes. But it's still a fantastic, fun movie. It's not very gory compared to the other two films. There's some blood here and there, and there's violence. But really, it's the most tame out of the three films. I would give Army of Darkness a 9 out of 10. I really like this one. I like Evil Dead 2 more. Definitely, I think Evil Dead 2 is the best one in the original trilogy. But I still love Army of Darkness. It's given us so many great one-liners over the years. Bruce Campbell's fantastic. And just the zany quality of the whole film just really clicks with me. So I've always loved this film. What are your thoughts on Army of Darkness? I just gave it a 9 out of 10. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Share this video. I greatly appreciate it. I will be back on Friday with an American Werewolf in London review. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.